Hi, everyone, and welcome to 3DP Stories, the show where we interview businesses in 3D printing to see what makes them tick and the keys to their success. Today, we're talking with JT from the brand JCSFY. They've hit the absolute gold with 3D printed grips for game consoles over on Etsy. But let's hear it directly from the horse's mouth. Hi, JT. How would you present JC Studio to somebody who has no idea? Not about 3D printing, not about 3D printing as a business, nothing.
Yeah, well, we kind of separate. So JC Studio separate ourselves from 3D printing. 3D printing is a tool that we use to create the products that we make. It may not be what we always do. We may change to laser cutting, we may change to woodworking or anything like that. We made that design intentional from the very beginning. What we do is we design our own 3D models and different projects, solve problems for people. When we first started, we started with a whole bunch of just random stuff just to see what would stick. As some things started to sell on our stores, we kind of figured out what niches and things we were going to be building in. The biggest things that we settled on was gaming grips. So we do a lot of like retro handheld gaming ergonomics, like just little handheld grips. Since we design them ourselves, we can add extra features. Like a lot of ours have 2-in-1. Have one side you can use as a screen protector, and then when you flip it over, you got the handheld. You can play with it. Do that a lot.
When did you start with the gaming grips?
Yeah. Good question. I mean, when we started, we did like 15 other listings before we had even started gaming grips. Did things like pen organizers. We spent some time designing a garbage can, which never took off. And then eventually we were like, I have this handheld that's just been sitting in this basement for a while. Let's make something for it. And we did, and we put it up online, and that was our first sale. Was a grip for the device.
Your
the
first
Mio
sale
Mini.
was the grips, or your first sale?
First
altogether?
sale at all was for the device
Wow.
grip. Still remember I remember the sale because as soon as we got it, me and my partner just called each other and, we're doing it! We've done it! Because we had probably spent 3 or 4 months trying to figure out how to get a sale. And that was our original goal. Sell one thing to one person I don't know. That was our goal from the very beginning. And just throwing things at the wall, and that's where we ended up.
That feels realistic. That feels like a goal that's achievable.
It was so
with
simple.
one thing.
Such a simple goal. Just if you ever want to get started, just sell one thing to one person you don't know. Just try to figure that out.
Do you remember where the customer was based, or what console he had?
Well, yeah, it was the Mio Mini, the first thing that we pulled out. But I think he was in Chicago or out here. We get a lot of orders for the bigger cities and states right now. So Chicago was a pretty big win. I think he referred a friend, and then we got 2 orders from that, and then 4 orders from that. And then my buddy was like the 5th order of our store, which was cool. It didn't count towards my goal in my head, but he was still in there as another order. He didn't leave a review. I mean, come on.
Oh, come on. The first sale, you have to.
You got to leave a review, dude.
So that was the first order. But when did it start feeling like this can actually be a business? It's not just a side hustle.
Yeah, that was a tough transition for us. I mean, I worked a full-time job. I was a software engineer before I did this, and my buddy Cameron, he does a side job as well. But we just sold more and added a couple more products, and all of a sudden we were getting one sale every like 2 days, and we're like, hey, this is kind of cool, little side hustle thing. And at some point, I just got this courage to talk to the local restaurant, and I made them a little table caddy. For whatever reason, I designed a little table caddy which holds like the pizza sauce, the ketchup, the pizza pieces, and sugar and all that stuff. I just made a cool one, put their logo on it, and brought it and said, hey, do you guys want this? And they said, that's cool, I'll take one. So I sold one to them. And about a week later, I get a call from the owner, and they own 4 restaurants now. He said, JT, I love it. I need it. Give me 50 more of them. And I'm like, whoa, wait a second. I had sold like 5 or 6 things on my store, and this guy is all of a sudden going to order 50 of these trays that I put together. And I'm like, okay, there's something here. There's something here that says Cameron and I, we can design things, and we can make products that people will want to buy. And not only that, the product speaks for themselves. That order, I've since got more orders from him as he's opening more stores, which has just been incredible. But while we were doing that, Cameron started continuing to make grips. And at the time, like when we had gotten that sale, I think we had 3 or 4 devices online, and they were starting to sell. That's when we're like, okay, wait a second. We have 2 different routes here that we could grow with. I could go talk to other restaurants and try to make more trays, or we could just expand the store, or even just putting more random stuff on the store. I made out of 15 products, 1 hit, and we could do another 15, another one's going to hit. It just kept scaling that way. Eventually, we started getting 1 order every day, and that was, when we first got an entire week, we had an order every day. I'm like, okay, this is it. This is where this is going to grow. 1 printer, so it was a 2-hour print on each part, and not a big
Yeah,
deal.
at that point, it's an actual income. But
Yeah.
how did you make the choice between going for Etsy style single product per order and retail style or big order style?
Yeah, that was one of those things that I didn't really get to choose. It just kind of life happened for me. I think that side of the equation has become a significantly lower side portion of our business, but at the time it was huge. I mean, just reorders and reorders and reorders of that. Yeah, we moved towards the Etsy side of the equation just because that's where we could feel our long-term goals. And you could design one model and all of a sudden reach 1,000 people. Your audience is a lot larger. So we took that, and eventually we had enough money sitting in an account. We're like, dude, I could go buy another printer right now. And Cameron's just like, bet, go get one, go do it. Sure, we'll figure out how to print and get stuff on it. Go get another one. So we got another one, and sure enough, we grew and figured out how to put more stuff on it and made our own stuff. Now, one of the things I think is important that if you're getting started is you don't need to solve a problem like brand new. There are thousands of problems out there that are getting solved every day the same way. If you ever go and see to a hardware store and you get the little wooden mousetrap with the little metal band, there's like 10 different better mousetraps out there. But that one still sells. And there's a lot of people that make that. So you don't need to go out there and reinvent the wheel. Just make something that people like and be happy and provide a good customer experience. And I think that's how you're going to be able to grow. So don't try to reinvent the wheel. You know what I mean?
That's for the sellers.
Yeah, for the sellers. Just put a product out there. I mean, yeah, find something that you think is cool, even if other people are doing it, and copy it. Go for it.
True. You've also mentioned that I know when you started, it was quite a while back, and you've been buying printers next to in bulk for quite a number of seasons now.
Yeah.
How many printers do you have now? I don't even remember.
Well, I mean, at this point, we're at 35 on the farm, and we have 5 off of the farm. Mostly the off-the-farm stuff is for proof of concept, because, I mean, we need enough printers on the side just to create more products so we can get pictures of them and get the listings up there before we even put them on the farm.
So
yeah,
you started separating the prototyping from the production.
Well, yeah, mostly because the production, our print farm uses exactly one printer model only. And if you're going to scale, I strongly suggest that. It's nearly impossible to manage a whole bunch of different brands and try to keep all the files the same. Pick one and run with it. But the 5 are basically random printers that we brought in and we tried before we locked in. Started with a Bamboo's X1 Carbon and then bought a second Bamboo X1 Carbon, and I'm like, okay, these are expensive, like very expensive machines. Do I need them that expensive? So we bought 3 different ones to try. I bought the Bamboo P1S, and then I bought an Elegoo Carbon, or an Elegoo Bedslinger one. And then I had my Ender, which the Ender doesn't compete. It never really did. It's cool, but I was not going to build a print farm on Enders.
It doesn't even compete with Prusas, let alone with Bamboos.
Yeah, I'm fortunate with the Prusas. They're just too expensive in the country here in the U.S. I really wanted to work with them and try to find that, but we didn't even buy one. It was just way too cost prohibitive. So, we slammed and decided the Bamboo P1S was going to be the most versatile and went that route. But yeah, that was our 3rd printer, our 4th, 5th, 10th, 20th, 35th printer, the Bamboo Lab P1.
Oh dear God, like that's a bragging right on its own, right? Because you haven't invested money to buy more printers. That was money that was coming in.
Yes, we have strapped this with 0 debt. I'm a firm believer of no debt, and those in the country would know of the guy named Dave Ramsey. I don't like debt. I try to stay away from it as much as possible. So we took the printer profits and bought more printers with our printer profits. And even to this day, I got no debt. Run a tight ship, but I don't have any debt.
Which is amazing on its own, especially for a young business.
Yeah, and these printers aren't cheap. We have essentially a brand new vehicle in 3D printers, so you could go buy a new car if we sold them all.
You're most proud about this brand and what you're doing right now?
Great question. We just did this, I mean, as I said, like from the beginning, just one grip at a time, one device at a time, and just kept making more and more stuff. And eventually, in about December of last year, we got an order from a guy, Russ, from Retro Game Core. He's a guy on YouTube, and I didn't really think too much of it. I mean, yeah, I knew he was a YouTuber, so we made sure the grip was nice and cleaned up, but we sent it to him. He put a video out on it, on our grip, like 3 months or so later. And he's the biggest YouTuber in the space, and that blew up our channel like crazy. I mean, we get people ordering and saying, hey, saw you on Rust, loved it, I bought it instantly, didn't even think about it. Hey, I saw your grip on Rust, bought it instantly, didn't even think about it. Because, like, that was crazy. All of a sudden, we moved from a group of people that are just, like, making things and devices and grips to a big YouTuber catches it, and he starts, promoting our shop that way, and I feel like all of a sudden now we're official. Like there's people that really are into our brand. Lately, the last couple of months, I've been looking at our stats, and one of the most proud things that I see is we can tell what people are searching onto Etsy, which led them to a sale on our store. I see 5 letters, JCSFY. That blows my mind. People are going to Etsy
amazing.
and looking for us. They're not looking for just a grip to solve their problem. They're looking for us. And I think I credit a lot of that to Russ on his YouTube channel for that. Yeah, I mean, we just kept growing and growing.
Have you tried to do collaborations with him afterwards?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I reached out to him like a month or so later after trying to survive the order flow. I mean, we were doing like 12 or 13 printers trying to survive on the amount of, I mean, he's got a couple 100,000 subscribers. You can imagine the order flow just got crazy. I was staying then at the shop just trying to keep printers rotated, but we managed to get through that. Yeah, I reached out to him and said, hey, I really appreciate what you did, and he was so happy about all of it, and he kind of just connected, and I threw a bunch of other grips into a bin and sent them his way. Just, I don't know,
That's
just because.
nice.
As a thanks, and so I sent him probably like 8 or 9 different grips, and no expectations of him doing anything. He's just a good guy.
From a passionate person to another.
Yeah, and he did another video, very, very high detailed of all of the grips we sent him, and our store exploded. I mean, it was it was crazy. I mean, usually we're getting like 20 or 30 orders a day. That day, even the next like 3 or 4 days, we're doing almost over 100. We're like, oh my gosh, I don't know how I'm supposed to keep up. So, I mean, we had people running night shift, and again, I was staying at the studio. We had bought another like 7 or 8 printers in preparation because we knew that this could happen. And yeah, that was really cool.
I was wondering why your numbers were so big for this half of the year.
Yeah, the numbers are big because there's a following behind what we're making. And I mean, I attributed that a lot to Cameron. I don't do a lot of the designing, that like the grips and stuff that Cameron does. I work a lot in the business administration and automation and hiring employees and keeping the farm going and finance. Cameron's really the brains. Cameron's my business partner. He's really the brains on the designing and stuff. He made some decisions from the very beginning which have just paid dividends. Like the ability to, every grip you buy from us has felt on them. Protects it and has a barrier between the plastic. And most of the grips are reversible, so you use it for a controller, and then when you want to throw it in a bag, you can flip it away and put it away. Those are things that, since we have full control, we can make that. I attribute, like, he made a great design, and we make a great product as a company, and I think that really is what launched us into success.
I was going to ask, because felt from a maker standpoint, purely somebody, a hobbyist with a 3D printer, adding felt and pushing that into production feels like a lot of extra steps.
Yeah.
That wouldn't be obvious when you're just starting to sell these things.
Yeah, so, I mean, when we first started, I was hand-cutting felt. I took a X-Acto blade and, like, trace a pattern, but really decided that anybody can go to the local hardware store and buy a printer. Anybody can do that.
Yeah.
There's a ton of files online. Anybody can go get those files. Even the things that we're making, people have made free versions and solutions for online. Granted, I would argue strongly they're not nearly as good as what we make, but there's free versions
they
up
don't look
there.
as nice to begin with.
Yeah, there's a lot of free versions out there. But what I really wanted to say is I started and decided that we were going to be a studio, which means 3D printing is a tool, not the answer. And I think the most value is when you can take 3D printing and combine it with something else. If you combine it with some type of assembly, if you combine it with a different type of part, I think that's when you start to really win, because then you can build a product that not anybody can go to the store and just print. I mean, think about all the files that you go online and you say, that's really cool, and then you see it requires magnets and you just don't print it because you don't have the magnets. I mean, that's a pretty big differentiator. But yeah.
How did you decide to sell only your stuff and not buy other designer stuff or just sell your print-on-demand services?
I put that handicap on me and Cameron at the beginning, and I think it was the right choice. I mean, who knows? Maybe there's a better way. But I really wanted to be in charge. I wanted to be, if I'm going to build a business and really the first couple of months as we were building this, we didn't know what we were going to do. But then I realized, okay, this could grow into something we could sustain ourselves on. And if I'm going to grow a business that I'm going to sustain myself upon, I don't want people to be able to just jump in and copy me. And then all of a sudden overnight, my entire business is gone. That switch to having your own intellectual property and putting your logos on all your grips and all your devices and things that you sell, I think that was a pretty big important thing for me. It definitely hindered our growth. I can tell you for sure that it has made it a little bit slower for us to grow, because I could go online, get to a Patreon, download 100 files, put them online, and get it up and going. But again, that's not the JCSFY brand. We really focus on, this is a quality product. This is something you could only get from our store.
So it's not even It doesn't matter that it's 3D printed. It doesn't matter the manufacturing. It's just that you are a seller and the manufacturer of your branded products.
Exactly.
And that's it.
And
Nothing
3D
more, nothing
printing,
else.
yeah, and 3D printing is just how we do it. Again, that could change. I don't really know what the future is going to hold for us, but 3D printing
Maybe
is just
you'll
how
buy
it
an
works.
injection press.
Yeah, there's a chance. I mean, some of our products could blow up so much that I need to get an injection mold for it. You never know.
That would be very interesting from a maker standpoint.
Yeah, it would.
And I have to stand back.
You know, I went and got a quote for one of our products to get an injection mold on. One of our things, we were just selling so much of it, and it's just a tiny little part. I went to get a quote, and they said it's a tiny little thing. I don't really have a good example, but a small little piece of plastic about this big.
Mm-hmm.
The quote was, "All right, we'll do it, but before we even make anything for you, we're going to spend $10,000 on creating a mold." I'm like, wait a second. The thing that I can print for like a 16th of a penny, I need to spend $10,000 to just get a mold created first. There's no way.
That feels fairly expensive.
It's very expensive. And I mean, just to get the mold, and then you got to do runs and then iterations and change the mold if it's not perfect. I mean, it's just I was
don't
very
know what product will succeed.
Yeah,
begin
exactly. And I wasn't even like I went into it thinking that injection molding has to be how you solve this problem, right? Like it has to be. But I'm very mind blown that the cost to scale ratio on the 3D printers is so high. Your break even point is in the thousands or tens of thousands or even hundreds of thousands of parts before you even consider needing to do injection molding.
Yeah. And you can keep stock that's as varied as what you have.
Yeah, that's one thing. Joke. I don't really care what I put in the box as long as I can sell it. It doesn't really matter what you're doing.
We're protecting the brand. It's fine.
Yeah.
So basically, if I understand correctly, as soon as you figure that this can actually work, you were already starting in the grips department. Like you already pretty much knew after a couple of months of testing the waters.
Yep. Yeah, we knew that we had sold one device, then a couple other devices started coming, and then now we have, I think at this point we have like 50 different devices on our store with a bunch of different grip styles for all of them. And you could just see that the scale was pretty obvious. Just buy more devices, make more grips, put them up. Done. Right? The scale is pretty easy for growth for us. That's one thing that 3D printing offers that other businesses don't, is it's the ability to scale. You can do it in such tiny fractional increments. Like think about like a restaurant. Let's say you open up like a McDonald's or something. You got to get like $1 million to open up a store. Let's say that McDonald's, you do that, you get all that done, and it's freaking killing it, and you're making a lot of money on it. Well, it's not like you can increase and make another McDonald's. You have to get through that $1 million barrier to make another one in the months to do that. For 3D printing, you just buy another $500 to $1,000 printer and put more stuff on it. You know, like it's very incrementally easy to keep growing in the 3D printer space.
Also, there are print-on-demand manufacturers.
Yes, and we've used them before when things got crazy, especially when that YouTube.
So far?
Yeah, we haven't used any of like giant professional services. We've got a couple of local farmers here that have like 10 or 15-ish printers that when things get crazy, we use them and send some orders out their way. But mostly that stuff is like bulk. Like I have some stuff that I know I sell all the time, and so I'll send them some of the giant orders and they'll bring them back. And we can do that locally. They're not that far from us. They're about an hour away from us. So they just print them and send them out. But we have to do all the assembly. You know, that's tricky. I can't really just...
So you haven't found others to do the assembly in bulk?
You know, most people don't want to do that for some reason. I think it's just a tricky space. Because most people just want to do the highest, quickest, fastest way to make money. Click print, sell it. And there's money to be made there, but I really think that the long term is combining two things together.
Yeah, that's what gives you a unique advantage. Everybody else is building 3D print farms, but you have your own brand. The print farm is just a tool for the brand.
Exactly.
It feels like a very linear story where you figured out grips and then you went with grips. But then there are these little details of, yes, we've actually tried print on demand, but it didn't actually work for one reason or another. Have there been any other tries in changing the direction or adjusting the vision?
Oh, yeah, we changed a lot. I mean, the first 3 months that we started this, we sold nothing. It was brutal. Again, we had tried 15 products. We actually launched our first store on Shopify directly. We made our own little Shopify website, that's what, you know, if you like listen to online and read articles, they say, just do that.
That's what you'd think, except that those sellers already have YouTube brands.
Exactly. They already have the traffic. So I found out pretty quickly that, yeah, cool, I got a site. Great. Dang, how do I get customers here? And so that's when it was 3 months of that. And then eventually went over to Etsy was, I think if you're a newcomer trying to figure out how to get into this space, I think you start on Etsy. Etsy, I'm on eBay, I'm on Amazon, I'm on Etsy, I'm on my Shopify accounts. And I think Etsy it's e-commerce on easy mode. Is what I would say. If you want to get something up and quick, they will really hold your hand through it. They'll take a cut of your sales, and so does every online store. But it's easy mode to get started.
How much does Etsy take nowadays?
So
in the US, because I know it.
Yeah, in the US they take 6.5% of your sales plus a 3% credit card processing fee. I might be off by 0.5% there, but it's in total they take 9.5% of your order. But then there's something called offsite ads, which means Etsy reserves the right to go onto Google and put an ad for your product for you. They can do it if you want to. If you make under $10,000 in a year on Etsy, you can opt out of that, no problem. If you make over $10,000 a year on Etsy, which, I mean, that's a year. If you're having 1 or 2 printers, you could probably get there pretty quick. Then you can't opt out of it. And if they get a sale from the ad that they run, they charge the 9.5% plus an additional 13%. Becomes the most expensive way to sell a product online. And there's no way to opt out of it. So the only way to handle that is you gotta we hit a ding really bad once. We had a $500 product that we were selling, and somebody used a 10% gift card or discount code, which was cool. But then they hit it with offsite ads, and so that $500 product quickly became $300 or something like that we were going to take home after all of the fees. Really, really hurt. So we didn't know. Yeah, I would pay attention to that if you're getting into it. You just basically got to raise your prices to compensate, and all the platforms do it. I mean, eBay. I'm on eBay as well. They have something very similar to where if you get a sale, you can pay a percentage of the revenue. And so to compensate for that, I raised my prices on eBay. Just gotta have your prices kind of match what the e-commerce store would do.
Which one? So Etsy is great for scaling right at the beginning. But right now, are you trying to move away from it, or what are you looking for in the near future?
Yeah, great question. I don't think we'll ever move away from Etsy just because it's just a great ground. And that's where a lot of our customers are at right now. I think eBay is a bait. If you're trying eBay, you need to be in one of 3 product categories. If you're not in one of those 3, it's not going to be worth it. You got to be in automotive. You got to be in some type of niche that applies to reselling, or like trading card games, something like that. You're not really going to kick off over there very well. We have a couple of board game-esque products that we make, like add-ons to board games that do well over on eBay, and they don't do well on Etsy. But for the most part, man, eBay's a bait. We took a lot of time building out all of our listings on eBay. It was less than 3% of our sales. I mean, I'm happy to have the sales. We spent the time in it. I'm happy to have that. But really got to focus on where are your customers at. So, I mean, I looked at that, and when we expanded to Amazon has 2 options. They have FBM and they have FBA. You can think of FBA as being able to buy something on Prime. So you bulk make a whole bunch of stuff, and you send it in there, and then after about a couple of weeks, it'll be on there, and people can get it next day.
Which for you means it's a big investment.
It's a big investment. I got to pay for the labor, I got to pay for the printers and the plastic and everything, and get it all out, and I can't collect anything for weeks or months. But here's the stats that we found. On Etsy, one of our devices that we sell, or grips that we sell, we sold about 8 in an entire 7-day period. On Amazon, that same device, we had sold 20 same exact week. So, wait a second. I think we may need to pivot here and try to figure out how to expand Amazon. And first off, I knew Amazon was going to be the end goal. I mean, it's where everything sells. I mean, everybody's buying stuff on there. And plus, you got to be Prime. Like, we have all of our products basically on there as you'll get it in a week and a half or 2 weeks or something like that. And most people aren't buying that. If you get it in Prime, you can get it next day. It's it's going way up. So that's what our current focus is lately is, yeah, we still build on Etsy. Yeah, we'll still maybe invest at eBay if the product makes sense over there. But Amazon has been a big push for us.
I haven't heard you mention the newer platforms like Temu or secondhand stores like Facebook Marketplace.
Yeah, we take advantage of Facebook Marketplace, but only for selling local stuff. Most of our stuff is for a really specific niche. You got to find this, you got to buy this particular device or whatnot. But we have a small subset of what we sell that local people could buy, and we do that on Marketplace. I just have a couple of pictures on there with just listings that refresh. It's not a lot. There's some way to connect to Facebook Marketplace, but really haven't invested in that.
So it's more. Sorry, go ahead.
Temu we tried a little bit to understand it, but it's just not. It's not what we need. Now we did really get into TikTok Shop, but Man, there are so many bugs creating an account in TikTok Shop lately that we are completely blocked, and we've called and supported and all this, and we can't get anywhere with them. They have a similar strategy to Amazon. Like, they'll fulfill your products for you. Just ship them a bunch, and they'll send them out over time. No, that didn't quite work.
Wait, so TikTok Shop, you have to send them a bunch of products and then they send the orders over?
So you don't have to do that. You can do, so there's like FBM and FBA in Amazon terms is fulfillment by Amazon and fulfillment by merchant. Everything on Etsy is fulfillment by merchant, right? If you get an order, you're making it and everything. TikTok and Amazon both have this idea of, okay, just send me a bunch of your stuff and I'll fulfill it. Or you can still do your own store orders. And we do that too. We offer all of our products on Amazon FBM for fulfillment by merchant. It's nowhere near the volume of fulfillment by Amazon. Amazon's really crushing it.
What's the difference? Are they listed differently?
It's the fact that when you look to go buy it, you can either get it tomorrow or you can get it in a week and a half.
Oh, wow.
Because Amazon puts it right next to you. And I think that whole system is very cool. I mean, I understand why it's one of the most profitable companies in the world. I mean, I definitely get it. Even some of the listings, like, people are getting it the same day. I mean, it comes with its downsides, man. Amazon is single-handedly the most expensive store ever by a large margin to sell a product on. I mean, it's like 30%.
More expensive than Etsy?
Oh, yeah. It's like 30%, like, default. And the reason why is they're including the shipping in the price. I mean, you can configure that to not, but you need to. In order to compete, you need to have free shipping on Amazon. That's you got to do that. They have a high fee. They have storage fees. They have shipment fees. They have penalties if you don't have enough inventory. They have penalties if you have too much inventory. Like, there's just a lot of fees on stuff, and it scales proportionally with your revenue. So if you have a $100 product, your fees are really expensive. It's not like it's a $5 fixed cost or something like that. I mean, that's the idea. The goal is, though, like I'm telling you can do a lot more volume there. And so for me, it makes a lot of sense for me in the instance where maybe I only have like 8 orders left to make and I have 35 printers. Well, let me use them and I'll pre-print a whole bunch of stuff. And because I don't necessarily need to get stuff out to Amazon right away. I can get it when I have the extra capacity. And so that's a really good tool for the larger print farmers out there, that if you have some slack capacity, consider trying FBA.
That's a really good pro tip for the other farmers that sell their own stuff. You've said a lot about your brand and where you're selling, but I haven't seen you, maybe you are, but I haven't seen you as a brand on social media or YouTube or as a content maker.
Yeah.
Despite you having brand recognition.
Yeah, this is a really interesting thing. We did not start socials. We started with a good product and delivered on that promise. And we have socials now. I mean, I post on it probably every 4 or 5 days, but it's not like I'm not like actively managing it. You know, I got a cool picture and I'll post it up there. We got Facebook, we have Instagram, we have TikTok. Again, we're barely really using them. I've looked at like having help to help make, or hiring help to help us make that something better, but our customers aren't coming from our socials. They're coming from brand recognition on YouTube, and they're coming directly to like our Etsy store.
Mm-hmm.
Having said that, we still get a lot of views on our socials, like a lot more than I thought. I see some analytics, and I mean, people are searching. If you just search our store, JCSFY, you'll see the top 10 results are all us in one way, shape, or form between Amazon and Etsy and Instagram and Facebook.
Which is a bragging right on its own, right?
Yeah,
you have the first Google page just yourself.
Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah, it is cool. But again, it's like 5 random letters. Like let's talk about that for a second. It's just JCSFY. Like what is that? So me and Cameron, I'm JT, but I go by Josh. But we call our business Josh and Cameron Studio for you. So that's the JCSFY. And we wanted to just be JC Studio, but there's about 100 of them out there. And if you Google JC Studio, it's just everything. There's a band. There's artist. There's a whole bunch of stuff. So we needed to stand out, and the 5 random letters is how we got there. Five random letters. I mean, 3DAPI is very similar too. 3DAPI. I mean, yeah, interesting.
It is a story behind that. If you look up 3DAPI on Google, yes, we're going to be in the top results. But also, even the concept of 3D API, because that's not our concept.
Yeah.
That's in gaming, that's in everywhere else. However, if you look up DAPI, nothing, just a bit of chemistry. I think it's like 2 Google pages to begin with. That works. Yeah, branding is interesting. Like, I know you've mentioned when you just recreated your Shopify page, you started getting sales or a bit of sales right away, right?
Yeah, so we went Shopify for the first 3 months, and then I just kicked it up to the bucket after that free trial ended. Fast forward a year later, opened it up, and we tried it again. And for whatever reason, I mean, people are Googling JCSFY, and now we're getting sales on this thing. Like, it's not a lot. I mean, 1 or 2 a week. but it's sales that I don't have to pay fees on for any of the other platforms. And the only way they're going to that store, I don't advertise this store yet. I just don't yet. The only way they're getting to it is they're Googling us. And then they're like, dang, I know these guys. Yes, they're good. Bye. That's cool. When you have brand recognition start to grow, that's when I feel really proud of what we've.
What do you think is the top three qualities of the brand that you've built? Like, what are things that are essential to your brand?
Yeah, that's a good question. I mean, the most important thing is that we're going to probably sell you something that has a combination of two different pieces together. I mean, like 3D printed and felt. We have really good and fast customer service. I mean, people kind of know that. We get that all the time. Yeah, I don't really know. Other than that, I mean, we're just known for the gaming grips side. Building a brand is such a hard topic. I mean, it's a hard thing to do because you don't really, you do a bunch of steps and you try to make it and you try to build the brand and then it kind of happens on accident. And what I mean by that is you're doing everything you can to make it work, but you don't know what is going to happen and it's going to take off. Like I would never have predicted, I'm going to start this channel, this 3D printing business, and then a YouTuber is going to make us, make our brand name recognized. Like I never would have expected that, But you try. I mean, I tried. I knew it was a YouTuber that had ordered our grip, and you try to build the brand, and you never know.
You've basically engineered the yeast to get the bread rising. You have no idea how the yeast works or why or how to recreate it, but it's working. So it's now precious on the top of the desk. Who cares? It works. You have the secret formula. Doesn't matter that you can treat it. You know that it works.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think another part of that equation is time. I mean, you just keep ripping the same message again and again and again. Sometimes people will hear you. I mean, we've been doing this for a year and a half now. And at some point, somebody's going to be like, hey, this is kind of nice.
Considering you've had to scale up quite a bit from your maker days where you had 1-2 printers and just starting out, how has the day-to-day life of running the business changed?
Oh, yeah.
It used to be one.
It used to be something I could just do like at the end of the day. I'd go downstairs and work for 20, 30 minutes and package some orders. When it became to the point when like, oh my gosh, it's 10:30, 11:30 and my wife and I are downstairs making orders and trying to get them out the door. We don't have enough time in the day and I got to start my day job the next day. I was starting to get worried. Like, how am I supposed to keep up with this? Thankfully, we have a family friend who was in the middle of needing a short-term job for a couple of months. And she just came over in my house, and helped us. Really, she was awesome. Her name is Riley, for a shout out, but she really helped us grow. I mean, inviting somebody to your home and to work in your basement to pull things off the printers is so sketchy. But yeah, that's really I was able to keep my day job while she was doing that and keep working. And then eventually we moved to the new location because there was too much going on in our basement. And at that point, when we were in a new location, I decided it's time. It's time to make the jump. I have some savings, and that's one thing that you got to do. If you're going to try to make a big risk like this, you got to have some savings. The tool that lets you make the risks. Yeah, we jumped, and since then, I mean, the order flow is starting getting crazier and crazier and crazier, and I had to hire a guy. I joked because I posted a listing for a job application, 4 hours to 20 hours a week, because I had no idea what I was going to offer. I had no idea. 4 hours, dude. Yeah, that's nothing. But I found a nice guy, and he's been working us for the last like 6 months or so. Been fantastic. He's working 40 hours a week, and about 2 weeks ago, I hired another employee just to keep the orders going, which is just awesome. That's really what we're trying to do is trying to automate the farm a little bit by having some help. While Cameron and I can keep going back to our roots. I mean, just keep making things and solving problems for people.
How is the time split different from back when you started to now?
Yeah, it was.
Nowadays, it's not the same prototype. Oh, look, an order came. It's fine.
Yeah. The time, like now, I mean, we're fully into it. I don't really stop working, to be honest with you. I have to put limits on my phone to turn off notifications just because, I mean, I'll reply to messages at 2 a.m. just because I happen to get up.
Oh, God.
And I like it. I don't have any real issues with it personally. I mean, my wife really does not like that I do that. She helped me create some limits. Like after 6 o'clock, anything on Etsy, I don't even listen to anymore. It just mutes the notifications. And I thought that was really going to hurt us for a while. I thought that we're instantly replying to messages and that's how we're getting the sales. And for a little bit, that is true. If you push hard on customer service, you'll get some reward on it. But the 11:30 or 1:30 a.m. messages, just it's not worth it. It's not worth that business.
How much time do you reckon you spend on designing now versus 6 months ago or a year ago? or the same for managing the printers?
Yeah, so Cameron probably like I used to design too. We would literally that's all we did because we would get 1 or 2 sales a day or something like that. I could do it on the night. We would just design and design and design. One week we did 15 brand new listings in a week, which was like fantastic. I mean, brand new products that we created and tested and loved them. Granted, none of them really sold, but I think maybe 2 or 3 of them are still on our store. Yeah, it's the risk. Like you're never gonna win if you just pick one product and hope it works. You gotta just keep going. Play the numbers game. Yeah, so Cameron, that's pretty much virtually all that he does. He doesn't do much production, and I try to shield him from that. Well, at least we try to, because I want him to be making more things, and he enjoys that. That's the type of work that he just freaking loves to do. I spend a lot of my time on like optimizations and trying to increase our efficiency. Think about if you have one printer, you go to a computer, you find the file, you drag it into your slicer, you hit print, go to the printer, find the filament, set it in there, and hit run. If you have to do that 35 times for every printer order that you ever get, it doesn't scale anymore. It's fun because when Alexander came by and he saw our farm and he's like, "You guys don't have any automation? They're over there on 2 feet. That's our automation. We hired it." But that's what I spent a lot of time on. As being an ex-software engineer, we've got a lot of automation now. Up to the point when we get an order in, I don't even know what printer it's going to go on, and I don't even send it to a printer. I get the order in, it instantly slices it and sends it to a printer, and then all of a sudden I get it pulled off at the end of the day.
I think that's actually one of your competitive advantages, that you keep optimizing, you keep developing new tools to make it better.
Yeah, so I switched away from designing new products. I still do. Don't get me wrong. I definitely still make products. It's nowhere near as what it used to be. Cameron is really holding the heavy edge on that. But I mean, there's so much opportunity besides making new products. Like I said, going to Amazon was a big one that I pushed a lot of. It's not really making anything new, but it's absolutely increasing revenue or increasing efficiency.
It's a new side of the business. Yeah, doesn't have to be a new product.
Yeah, so that's another. Yeah, you can grow your store and grow your business without actually making new products, which is weird to me. As long as you're already making sales on some stuff, you can grow that way.
For the fun stuff, what would you reckon, if you can share, would be the biggest or the most pricey failure that you had? It can be hardware or it can be as a decision.
Pricey failure. You know, I haven't really had any crazy failures. Nope, I know what it is. Yeah. So the craziest thing is we fell into the trap of going online and finding the cheapest filament. We went on Amazon and searched black PLA. If anybody does that in the country, in the US or something, even outside of it, you'll probably find yourself looking at Elegoo PLA. We ran our entire business on the Elegoo PLA for a long time. And I just, that's the plastic that we used. We kept finding flakes and crap and stuff of our filament, throwing away a lot of our stuff because there's just a black piece in it or a speck or things like that. And come to find out, I mean, after months of using this stuff, I started opening the rolls and there's just junk in it. There's flakes and hairs and plastic pieces, and that's what's happening. All of our prints, we're throwing away a lot of prints because of stuff in it, and it's just coming from the cheapest plastic out there. I didn't really necessarily know that until I started reaching out to some of the bigger manufacturers of filament, because at this point, we're no longer buying 2 or 3 rolls a day. We're buying, we can use up to 31 rolls a day if all of our printers are running. That adds up very, very fast. We're buying it by the pallet now just to get it in, and we're buying a pallet every couple of weeks. And he switched over to Polymaker, which has been really good for us.
The pallet is in a ton, 1,000 kilos?
Yeah, it's about 1,000 pounds, yeah. But I don't know what that is in kilos. Somebody do that.
300 kilos, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, but still, that's 300 rolls of filament.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's 300 rolls, absolutely. And we're buying that every couple of weeks now. But I got to tell you that if you're doing it at the scale that we're at and to the scale of the future, the batch consistency matters a lot. I didn't really notice it at the beginning because I was just kind of, this is the plastic you get, whatever. But we would get one roll of black of Elegoo and another roll of black of Elegoo, and you would see a visible line because the colors aren't the same. So we switched over to Polymaker, which has just been incredible. You buy a roll of Polymaker and you get a green for today and you use it, and then you get a new roll, or you found a roll from 3 or 4 months ago and you put it there and roll it over, it matches perfectly. And we find that a lot. So getting a high quality filament and high quality color matching, I think, has just been a pretty big changer. But the amount of money we spent throwing stuff away, I just didn't even really think about it. You get a print, you throw it away. You get a print, you throw it away. That's expensive. That definitely adds, especially since when it's finished printing, you've spent almost all of your hours on it. You've already got the entire plastic printed. Your entire printer was waiting on it, or running it, and it couldn't be doing something else.
What about the old school filaments? Because I know Polymaker, and I've seen it used worldwide, and I've seen multiple print farms actually prefer Polymaker without any outside reason, just for the quality.
Yeah.
And it's actually fairly cheap, to my utter surprise for a quality filament. What about the old school filament like Prusa or bamboo?
Yeah, bamboo's just way too expensive. Bamboo, I think, is made by Sunlu, so they don't even make their own filament. So they have another company make it, and then they charge a fee on top of it, and then sell it to you, and it's just too expensive.
For the little RFID tag.
Yeah, the RFID tag. I mean, what a darn cool feature. I wish we could still have, but no, maybe there'll be some better solutions out in the future.
They had to lock it in the system. It's fine. It's
sad. It is sad. Bamboo has been awesome for us, but the fact that they lock things down is tough.
Then I don't even need to ask you about Prusa filament.
Well, Prusa is just, I don't know why it is so expensive. I haven't really researched the line, but Bamboo P1S printer right now at this moment in time is like $7,500. A Prusa that gets lapsed and the Bamboo runs circles around is like $1,500, and I have to build it myself, and then I have to calibrate it and maintain the thing.
Prusa had a chat with their engineers back at Fab Lab 20.
I see the printer back there, so you have one.
It's my partner's printer. It's an older one, and as you can see, it's partially disassembled because it's not made to work as a business. It's made to tinker with. If you want to print in chocolate, you're not going to use a bamboo. You're going to use a Prusa. If you want to create a new material, test some new software, you're going to use a Prusa. But you're not going to run a print farm on it. Which is, they are not only aware, that is specifically what they target. Yeah. The maker community, not the business community, which is fine. It's their choice. I have a personal problem with their filaments because they actually make it in the US. They've started a big-ass factory in the US 2 years ago, and they make it in Europe. And that's why it's so expensive. They have a lot of quality tests, and they have to hire locals, which are more expensive than random Chinese.
Yeah, at Polymaker, the type of filament we use, they make it here in the U.S., which is fantastic.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we use the Polylite brand, and almost everything we buy, there's a couple that we don't, of their brand, of their rolls, is made here right in the U.S. Right, I think in Texas even.
That's extremely impressive.
Yeah, for the price that we're able to buy it for, I mean, granted, we have bulk discounts because we're buying so much of it. Most people are probably getting Polymaker in the $20, $22 range.
We get Polymaker for $12 just because we signed up on their website, even per roll.
Yeah, I mean, there you go.
So that's for one roll, not even 100.
So that's interesting. Yeah, we have minimum order quantities. We have to buy like at least $200 or 200 rolls worth to even get a low discount.
But you get like $7, right?
No, it's about the same as what you are, but it's made in America, which is good. So I think we're
helping the local ecosystem. You have to give back to the community after all.
Yeah. I mean, so that's what we do too. Is when we buy the filament, we also offer it locally for really, really cheap. So we sell a lot locally. I mean, people come to our studio. Granted, we don't have. Yeah, we sell a lot locally. We probably sell like 4 or 5 rolls a week. I mean, it's a lot in perspective. And me, that's as much of one printer is going to eat, I guess, a week. But it's cool because we can bring in the high quality filaments and offer it here locally, where people don't have to go to the big stores or buy it on Amazon and wait forever. And cheaper too. I mean, we're getting the huge discounts. We may even be getting better discounts than some of the other big companies that are selling it.
But how do you approach the problem of competition and pricing against competition and scaling against competition?
Yeah, that's a tough one. We have a lot of people that compete in our space. I mean, you just think about a gaming device. There's so many people that have gaming devices, and that's the nerd community. A lot of them have 3D printers. Probably have 15 or 20 shops that compete with us on Etsy specifically. And Russ from Retro Game Core has even reviewed some of their stuff, and they make quality products. Don't get me wrong. I don't have any issues with their products. I haven't bought any of them. Cameron bought one and said it was really cool, and we didn't want to copy it. But what you do is, to the beginning thing is about the mousetrap. Everybody can make a mousetrap. The mousetrap still sells today. Don't worry about being the best. Just be really good at what you do and have a really good attitude about it. And you'll be successful. And for the most part, I'm looking at my competitors and just seeing, okay, what are they kind of doing? But it's almost noise to me because I have a formula that's working. I'm just going to keep going with my formula. If it stops working, then I'll start paying attention to what's going on around us.
So on the topic of stops working and keeps working, what can you share about the future of the brand in a year from now?
Yeah, we have some really cool ideas to grow our business. We're going to continue doing gaming GURPS, but we've decided that The grips are cool and stuff, but one of the biggest challenges, one of the biggest challenges with our business is how do you get bigger? Just think about how do you go and get bigger? Well, you make another product, you produce it online, you get it on your platforms. You make another product, you produce it, and you keep growing that way. Well, in terms of growth, that's very linear. And it's very linear, and it's blocked by however many designers you have. Can I hire a bunch of designers to make more stuff that I feel like the JCSFY brand can get behind? That's tough. Not really. So we have some ideas to try to figure out how to turn that into an exponential growth. There's just a bunch of different spinoffs, a type of business that we could do. Having better automation, being able to increase what we can sell, being able to advertise better on different platforms, and potentially even having a retail space here locally where we can grow that way.
I would totally visit that next year.
Yeah, I toured a facility yesterday. It was too big for us. We're in about a 1,500 square foot place. This place was 6,000 square feet. But it was, I wish I was big enough to be able to use it because it's a perfect location. But not quite yet. Not quite yet.
Was that retail or for the manufacturing side?
Both. It had an upstairs and a downstairs. Upstairs could have been the manufacturing, and then the downstairs could have been retail. Really cool space.
Enough power?
Oh yeah, I mean the 3D printers, they don't take an insane amount of juice. They take a lot. I mean, don't get me wrong. When you have enough of them, we have 35 printers, and we've maxed out a 100 amp panel. Most homes have about a 200 amp panel out here. So you basically, when you get to the 70 printers, you're maxing out what your entire electric panel can do. And we're not there yet. When we get there, that's going to be a scary moment. And you got to invest in a lot of electrical infrastructure. We're not there yet.
Or wouldn't it work to rent out an industrial space?
So yeah, we looked at that. I don't love that idea because we looked towards some warehouses with industrial electricity and stuff like that. But when you go in there with a custom need, they're gonna go there for a while, and then you got to spend a bunch of money getting it perfect for you with electric, which means you got to stay there a long time. Business like ours that didn't exist a year and a half ago, am I really gonna go lock into 3-4 year leases? I mean, no. Why would I do that? I don't know what I'm going to look like. So what I need to find is a place that if I get into a lease with it, I can grow and turn it into something crazy. Try to figure out what my exponential growth is going to look like and survive that route. That's why I was looking at this 1,000 square feet space.
Actually, a surprising take.
Yeah.
But traditional businesses would want to look on what's stable and keep improving on that, not consider that, hey, in 2 years, maybe we'll do something completely different.
Well, I think that's a challenge with most businesses. Like earlier, it's so straightforward. It's not easy. It's very straightforward on how to grow a 3D printer business like this. Make the new product, sell the new product. It's not groundbreaking, and the barrier to entry to the next dollar growth is just another printer or another idea. A lot of those other businesses, they have to get a lot of funding, they build a new building and all this time. We're not trying to do that. We're basically able to just every day grow a little bit more over time.
Which keeps adding up.
Yeah, it's definitely been an avalanche.
Insane numbers.
Yeah, the numbers are getting crazier and crazier every month.
If you had to restart the entire adventure today, completely from scratch, as if the brand never existed, what information would be key that you're taking from your experience into restarting the adventure?
Yeah, I think the number one most important thing starting a business is find a co-partner. Find a partner. Do not try to do it alone. Every successful business that I've ever worked with and seen that started a business has had a partner, somebody that they can sit there and rely on. If you think about just the general emotional sways of you during the life of during a year or so, there are days when you're just so depressed for a week for whatever reason going on in your life. Maybe a family member died or something, but you're so depressed you just can't carry on and you just want to close down shop and be done with it. Or there are some days you're so riding so high that let's keep going and keep going. When you take a partner and you start making these waves kind of go back and forth with each other, when you're having a low, they're having a high. When they're having a high, you're having a low, or whatever, lets you basically keep pushing each other. I mean, there was a moment in time when Cameron and I just wasn't feeling it. I was like, I don't know. This isn't really going to work. And unbeknownst to me, a couple of days later, he says, check out this new really cool product. He pushes it out, and all of a sudden, the energy's back up again. Being able to feed off of two people. I mean, you guys have two people. I have two people. A couple of companies I'm working with right now have two people. It's important to have that. There are people out there that can run a business by themselves. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of people out there that can do that. But I think the vast majority of people need a partner that is equally yoked and can help them grow. Pick them up when they're down, and you pick them up.
That has been the general feedback and advice everywhere I looked. Slant 3D, for example. That's how they answered that question. If they went back, the first thing they would change, most important, get a partner, not lead on their own. And that's actually one of the most frequent startup advices as well.
Yeah.
Get a partner as soon as you can and, well, properly select your partner.
Yeah, don't just get any partner.
During the day, you're away from your family and you're away from your wife. You spend more time with the business partner than with your family.
I think I'm
More
spending
often
more
than
time with
not.
Cameron than I am with my wife. That's for sure. She picks on me for that, but it's a sacrifice. I wouldn't be able to be where I'm at without her helping me. She's helping me raise 2 kids, so we have 2 sons, and without her, I could never do that.
How do you come up with the ideas? Because you have a lot of grips, and in your time, you've tried a lot of products. How do you come up with them? And how do you select from the thousands of ideas what you should actually try making and selling?
Oh my gosh. That's an impossible task. And for some people, that would just freeze you. There's too many things. Never mind. But
Me.
yeah, there's just too many things. Grab one that you think would work and go for it. One of the things, like, we do some general math before we even consider an idea. I look at how much is this going to cost to actually make. Assuming, because I can know with a fair amount of certainty how much something's going to cost to make. For example, if I wanted to 3D print something like this, a glass, I don't know exactly what the design's going to look like. I don't really know. But I can tell you roughly it's about this much plastic, about this much print time. And I look at that and say, if I made this thing, could I actually sell it and make money on it? So then I do some quick little product research to decide if it's even going to be worth it to sell. And if it's not, you move on. And I just keep going until I get one that I'm like, oh, I could sell this one. And then I say that idea and I'm like, I don't want to do that. And so I pick something else. We just kind of go where we're like, this sounds really cool to make. Let's make it. And it kind of went down that way. Not really a rhyme or reason to that other than don't work on a product that you don't think will make sense at the end of the day. We have a huge list, thousands and thousands of things. Every time somebody's like, say, you should make this, we drop it on the list. We'll never make it because there's just too many things to make. But maybe I look at that list when I'm bored and need some inspiration on what to build.
So it is a bit of back of the napkin math. See, it financially makes sense because you're not going to sell something for $100 if the damn thing isn't worth on the market $100. Yeah. And it's also a bit of competitive research. See who else sells this, what the market can bear.
Yeah, and see if you can make it better. I mean, maybe your product is $20 more than the next closest. Well, is your product better? And do you think people would do that? Position yourself as a premium maker in the space, then you're even better because then you have higher margins and nobody else, there's nobody out there that's competing if you're a premium member. And once you build a premium brand, I think one of the things I think about premium brands is once you've made of yourself a premium brand, you kind of stick. People go, okay, this is where you go to get good stuff.
Can you share some numbers around your business? Any numbers, doesn't necessarily have to be a specific one. Like it can be number of sales or overall income or number of minutes wasted during the night thinking about tomorrow what you have to put on the printer.
Yeah, I can share some numbers. I won't give you our revenue numbers. I feel like that's a little bit personal. But I can tell you that in general, since we're on Amazon, eBay, Etsy, Shopify, right now about 75% of what we do is Etsy. Quickly, Amazon, it started out 3 months ago, we didn't have it at all. And now it's almost 20% and growing. So I think if you are in a business and you're trying to grow, definitely look at Amazon. I know everybody's like, yeah, do Amazon, but it's complicated. It's not an easy software to use. It is a very difficult thing to even automate and make listings on there. It's very hands-on, and it's going to tell you and confuse you all the time, but try that. Let's see. Other than that, I think we have 155 live listings. Of that, I think there's probably about equally as much, about 155 listings that we've deleted because it did not produce. So almost half of what we do is never sold or it was just a wasted effort. So that's important to know.
And how many of the current ones are most of your revenue?
I think, so there's this general rule in business, the 80-20 rule, where 80% of your profits come from 20% of your products. And that's definitely true. I see it across the board. I see it in a lot of things. It's definitely true with our business. 80% of our revenue is coming from 20% of what we sell. So you got to find that. You got to keep going until you find the product that does that. Not just the product that sells. That original product that we sold, that we got our first sale from, we still sell it every week or two. We get one or so sales from it. But our main hitters are doing 20 orders a week, 30 orders a week. And that's just where most of your revenue comes from. Now, the important thing is when I guess this is something interesting. When we moved from my basement to an actual studio space, one of our products was 90% of our revenue. One product only on Etsy. when we got into the studio space and started getting everything set up, I looked at Cameron and I'm like, okay, what happens if like this one device, this thing that we've made falls apart? What happens if it falls apart? What do we do? He's like, well, we just get scrappy. We keep working, keep making more stuff, keep growing. That's one of those things when he and I just locked in. What's interesting is, so that was 95% of our revenue when we moved into the studio space. Now it's less than 3%. It's gone. And it's not because I've scaled. I haven't really, as far as gross revenue terms, we haven't in the last 6 months done crazy. Our revenue terms haven't gone up, but our volume has. We're making more products for cheaper. But that, if we had not pivoted, our business wouldn't exist anymore. All of the top sellers that we have is not that product at all anymore. It's because people get in there and they can compete, and a product stuff like this, it just doesn't have a long life cycle. Yeah, that's crazy. I'm glad we pivoted and pushed hard on that.
That feels like a massive nuke avoided.
Yeah, it could have been. I don't know how to say it, but I have a little bit of insight on how to run a business. I'm not an expert at any stretch at all, but my parents all run businesses and they understand how to do all that stuff. And I think I just have a natural inclination on how to protect stuff. Some of the things that I think were very important on rules that I set is we're going to make our own stuff, and we're going to diversify all of our different platforms as much as we possibly can. We're only on Etsy there. That's crazy.
Mm-hmm.
I think those are important. And then we have got to increase our automation. Those are things that I'm pushing to make our processes better. There's a guy out here called something, I forget, but he's part of the TV series called The Prophet. Profit as in financial profit. He believes in 3 things, the 3 Ps: people, process, and product. If you don't have 3 of those, if all 3 of those aren't on all firing on all cylinders, then you don't have a company. And I spend a lot of time on that kind of idea. So you got to have the right people in the chairs, and you got to have the right process, and you got to sell the right thing. Lately, the last couple of months, I'm spending a ton of time on process, trying to make it faster and more efficient. Other than that, as far as orders, let's see what we're doing, Jeff, roughly in a week. We're doing somewhere between 100 and 250 orders a week right now. This has been crazy.
Which is quite a bit considering your base product is about $20 without shipping.
Yeah, most of what we sell, we try to hit that $20 mark. We have some stuff that's much more expensive, like custom sculpts and stuff like that. But for the most part, our bread and butter is about a $20 product. Some of that even includes the shipping.
Which is amazing. You found your bread, you're baking it, it's fine.
It's working. At some point, I'll have to eat my bread. But right now, I haven't been able to eat the bread. Whenever we need more printers or need new growth, we are just rolling it into growth. Barely pulled much from the business right now, but that's a story for another day.
You have been growing quite significantly over the past 2 years, actually, right? Because you've been buying printers every couple of months.
Yeah, I would buy. I mean, basically the way we bought printers was one, then one, then one, then 2. And we're like, holy crap, we bought 2 at once. Holy crap. And I shared a picture with you. You could share it. But at our first printer rack, which was 5 printers on it. And I'm like, this is cool. Oh, it's so freaking awesome. And then after that, a bunch of orders came in. And we went into the Micro Center store and bought 3 printers. And I thought I was the coolest kid on campus. You're buying 3 more printers? Wow, what are you selling? I'm like, it's a secret. The last time I went in there, we bought 7 at once. And we went into the store, find 7 printers. We went to Micro Center out here. And Micro Center, they have commissions on sales. So we went in there and said, I want 7 printers. And the guy's like, huh? What? Yeah,
he was very happy.
He was very happy. And his partner that was there working with him, they looked at each other. And without even saying any words, they started doing paper scissors to determine who would get some of that. We have them. Yeah, that was so funny to watch that. But it's humbling. I mean, walking in there, I filled an entire truck bed up with 3D printers just to take them all. Yeah, I think one of the guys won 3 of them, and the other guy won 4 for their referral.
That's actually a proud selfie moment with the printers and the purchase.
Yeah, they didn't have to do anything too. I just walked in there. Hey, I need 7. They're like, okay, cool. No purchase protection program or anything like that. I got to tell you, I think we're getting way more efficient lately. We bought 35 printers because I think part of our process was broken. I'm looking ahead at what we have. I actually don't think we need to buy anymore because we're getting more efficient at what we do. The last month or so, I've been focusing on automation. The most important metric for a print farm is what is your utilization percentage? Because the higher the percentage usage, the more money you're making. If as long as the printers are printing, something that you can sell, you can make more money. But right now, we're able to really efficient with it. I started keeping that thing cranked at 100 or 80% all the time, and now all of a sudden we don't have a lot left to make. It's good. That's great. That means I have extra capacity built in.
The efficiency reaching anything above 50% is huge for 3D printing. And having those numbers is impressive on its own.
I think our average was, before I did automation, it was like 28%. And that's because like an entire Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they wouldn't run because I'm not going to work. You know what I mean? But now on Friday, I can clear them off and all of the printers are ready to accept the job. And when an order comes in, it prints it and sends it. And so I'm sending orders, and as soon as the order comes in, you're finding a printer, which is just so cool.
How do you recognize which order is on which printer? Like when you have to actually box them up?
Oh man, that is a really intense conversation. If you have AmbuLab printers, there are some really good software automation tools out there. That's only a part of the story. Getting from your orders into the automations for the print farmers is a whole different ballgame. We built custom software for that. But you can do it.
The perks of being a software engineer, right?
That's what, absolutely. And I think there's an abnormal amount of software engineers that have turned to 3D print farmers. Noticing that.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you got to be, 3D printing is a new tech. This is a job that never existed 6 or 7 years ago. In fact, it probably didn't even really exist 3 years ago, anywhere near this scale. Yeah, that's it.
I can't wait to see what you'll be doing and the stage you'll be at by the end of the year. And
what I think
projects.
Yeah, the secret projects. Someday, maybe I'll help release it and turn it into a product, but that's not my focus right now. But I can tell you that one of the coolest things is we have customers that are trying to buy our products outside of the country. And we've had this problem for a long time. I've looked, and Cameron and I, maybe 6 or 7 months ago, looked at each other and says, what if we found just some guy in Europe? We go over there and just meet him and fly over and talk to him. And maybe we just get their print farm going. And maybe they'll just work together, and maybe they'll just trust each other and kind of make something work. Didn't follow through with that. And I see this random post online. Hey, we're looking for interviews for people that are print farmers that are looking to expand globally. Or I'm like, wait a second, this sounds very interesting. This is exactly the problem we get. We literally, I'm not kidding you, getting probably message every 2 or 3 messages a day saying, I would love your product. I want to buy it. It's too expensive to ship internationally. And I'm like, well, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. Enter 3DAPI. This has been an incredible journey working with you, Alexander, you and your team. Right now we are able to click a button and orders are fulfilled, and the customers are getting it within 3 or 4 days compared to going through customs and stuff. It's taking 2 or 3 weeks. Let alone if I ship something out and it's a problem, I have to ship a replacement and it's going to take an additional, 2 or 3 weeks to come out. Having a local production partner is just incredible. Value in that what DAPI is bringing to our print farm and to print farmers across the country and really the globe, frankly, huge. I'm very excited to continue growing our partnership. And I look forward to finding ways to make we do cheaper, better, and more local.
With a bit of luck, once we hit your first 1,000 of orders on DAPI, we'll fly again and just order some cake, order some beer. We'll see.
Yeah. We're probably at about 9,000 sales as an individual business. So if we keep ramping up, we could hit there in about a year, I bet, with DAPI.
Plus, there is Amazon fulfillment. There are other stuff as well that grow quickly.
Yeah. Again, I'm trying to figure that out. But yeah, there's a lot of growth trajectories. And to have a partner like you with people that you trust, it's a huge competitive advantage. And I really appreciate it.
It is a process because we have to only select farms that we have to trust. And you want assembly, which is fair. It's your brand thing. But we have to ensure that the assembly is done properly, is done in time, and is done efficient from a financial standpoint, right?
Oh, yeah, you got a lot to work.
$50.
You've got a lot of work ahead of you, but I can tell you that if you can solve this thing, and you already are, to be frank, if anybody's here, we're sending orders through DAPI today, consistently. We're sending probably 1 to 2 orders every single day internationally through DAPI right now. Fantastic. We've gotten 5-star reviews from DAPI orders. Awesome.
Okay, that's news to me. We have to talk afterwards. Definitely. And it's good that you're not losing orders in Europe anymore, because I heard the loss percentage is quite high.
Yeah, so if you just look at it in terms of size of customer base, I think Europe is 40% of the United States. We're only doing 5% of our orders in Europe right now. And that's because the pricing is so expensive. Yeah, I have a $20 product I can get to a guy in Utah here for $25, but that same one, it's going to take 3 weeks, and I have to pay an additional $25 plus a $10 tax plus import duties when they get the product. A $20 device ends up being $50, $60, $70 by the time it ends up over there, which is brutal.
Oh, yeah. And so, you still get orders.
But we still get orders. That's the thing. We're still getting the orders, and people are paying 3 times the premium for the product, which means that if I can figure out how to get my costs down through DAPI, and if DAPI can get more efficient, then we can do this. This could grow up to be another part of the business that grows. And again, we didn't make anything. It just solved problems for people. Take the device and then things that are in the US and get them across the globe.
We are going to be building such a nice community of print farmers and sellers, because I think the biggest sellers right now that sell 3D printed products are technically print farmers, just like yourself. Very few successful, like properly scaling print farms only have designs that they don't own. I know there are some out there, just not many.
Yep.
So yeah,
I think if you can make a quick buck. I know a guy on YouTube. He's got 180 bamboo printers, and he was selling the 3D printed dragons. He's not selling the 3D printed dragons anymore. He had to pivot because it's already a niche thing. And if you're selling other people's stuff, you're gonna have to forever sell other people's stuff because it's gonna change. Whatever people are buying is gonna change every week. I mean, we had that problem too, but you know, I can't just go to a store.
There isn't a single valid business model. There are many business models. People who sell only the files, people who sell only other people's prints, people who rent other print farms like Teleport. Everybody is free to do whatever, and we are fine helping everyone, both the print farms and the sellers and the hybrids.
Yeah, you just got to connect the people, connect the buyers to the sellers. I think you guys are having an ability to make a connection stronger than anything anybody else can do in the region. I mean, you're solving a problem that's difficult. Like, this is so easy to do if if there was no issues with trust. Like, most of what Dappy does and the biggest value proposition is trust. Building a platform where you have a select group of farmers that you can fully trust with everything.
All right, that's been it for this one. Let us know in the comments if you have any more questions for them and who would like us to interview next. Have a great day, everybody.